From colluding with the government to protecting powerful oligarchs, today we're diving deep into the shadows to understand one of the most notorious criminal organizations in the world, the Russian Mafia. To understand the Russian Mafia, we need to travel back in time to the days of the Soviet Union in 1991, when the country faced tremendous economic and political upheaval. The chaos of the transition gave rise to an underground society of criminals who were quick to seize opportunities in the newly emerging market economy. Thus, the foundation of the Russian Mafia was laid. During this time, government businesses became privatized, and a small group of people, known as oligarchs, gained immense wealth and influence. With their influence stretching into the government and security forces, they managed to control a large amount of resources. However, they needed protection from both rival groups and the state itself, which was a perfect opportunity for the Russian Mafia. They took advantage of the weak law enforcement and lack of rules in place to ensure the economy was thriving. They used violence, intimidation, and corruption to defeat their rivals and secure their positions. It is important to note that the Russian Mafia is not one big gang, but rather consists of many gangs that follow the same rules, laws, and structure to avoid gang wars. These organized crime groups, known as Vor v Zakon or thieves-in-law, operate under a strict code of conduct, maintaining a sense of honor and authority. They were the undisputed rulers of the criminal underworld, commanding respect and fear from all those who cross their path. At the top of the hierarchy is the boss, also known as the Pakan. He controls all the operations and relays orders through the brigadier. This allows him to be in control without actually being involved. Below him are the two spies. They watch over the brigadier to ensure he is loyal and does not become too powerful. They act as security and support for the boss. Below them is the bookkeeper, also known as the Dezhatel Obshaka. He is responsible for collecting money from the brigadier. A lot of the money collected is used to bribe the government and gain power. The brigadier is next in the chain of command. He acts as the captain and is in charge of a small group of men known as a brigade. He is the middleman between receiving the orders from the top and relaying it to the bottom. Next are the bratoks. These are a group of 5 to 7 men who are responsible for carrying out operations and are also in charge of recruiting new members. At the bottom are the associates. These are the lowest ranking members, known as Shestyoka or the Sixes. They run errands for the mafia and provide information on certain operations. The term Sixes comes from the lowest rank on a 36 playing card deck, Sixes. Russian organized crime is also unique in that it does not possess a clearly defined top-down hierarchy. This gives the Russian Mafia an invaluable strategic advantage over those attempting to dismantle it. The Russian Mafia operates both in Russia and internationally, forming alliances with other criminal groups abroad. They have multiple streams of income, such as drug dealing, gambling, racketeering, prostitution, and contract killing, to name a few. They bring in billions of dollars a year, but with all that money comes a high price, such as paying everyone in the mafia, police bribes, and political favors being their main cost. The mafia are notorious for their violence and intimidation. They often use it as a way to maintain control, resolve disputes, or send messages to their rivals. Assassinations, contract killings, and acts of intimidation are not uncommon in this world. As we mentioned in Chapter 1, the Russian Mafia gained momentum when they formed alliances with the oligarchs. Their alliance gave them the power which they used to influence the Russian government. In the past, there have been mutual cooperation between these parties for various reasons, such as political and economical gain. Details about these events are claims based on evidence, but are not certain as these parties are extremely secretive. It is believed that the Russian Mafia is also involved in state-funded crimes. This means they are paid by the government to carry out covert operations, assassinations, or engage in cyber warfare. However, due to their secrecy, again, this remains a theory. This unholy alliance allows them to operate with relative impunity, manipulating the justice system to their advantage. The line between organized crime and legitimate power becomes blurred, as the mafia infiltrates the highest echelons of society. The mafia and Russian governments are believed to have struck a deal that allows both parties to benefit. How? The Russian government turns a blind eye to the operations, provided the illegal activities are done in private and they get a percentage of the profits. This serves as a good way for both parties to be happy. Like most organized crime groups, the Russian Mafia was started due to poverty and the struggle to survive. Over the decades, they have grown and gained power and influence. Their influence continues to expand, with dangerous and powerful groups operating as businesses on an international level. Their involvement in cybercrime, money laundering, and contract killing is well documented and continues up to this day. The Russian Mafia is very much around, although they tend to operate a lot more privately than other criminal organizations. It is important to understand how this mafia was born. Nevertheless, this does not excuse their crimes like killings, intimidations, and robberies. But then again, what other option did they have?